look, we don't have a lot of time. We're ripping through. This is a festival set. For those of you listening at home, this is you're going to be like, whoa, this podcast really impressive. No, we're just moving at a higher, crisper pace because it's a festival energy. We're in a packed house here. I think we're at the. There's not a single empty seat. Don't look it up. I believe we're at the.
I think tonight's attendance is 48,000 people.
Yeah,
tonight.
we are at the Metropolitan Opera House, and we couldn't be.
A lot of you people could have been at Elton John tonight at Madison Square Garden, but no, they chose to be here.
And the fire department's been turning people away.
No.
They can't fit all that people in here.
There was, not to make light of awful current mass shootings or the mass shooting du jour, but since
maybe a little bit.
The one of, what I think is odd is getting on a plane to go from California to New York and feeling safer because Griffith Park's on fire right now as we speak. Like my house is about to maybe burn down.
Yep, we've been keeping eyes on that all day.
And it just feels nice to come out to a nice quiet evening in New York.
Yeah, man.
Where we've got it under control.
Where the stops are frisked.
So at a certain point, well, look, no guests. I'm not going to come to New York and bring out oh, here's John Oliver. I easily could. That would be an easy thing I could do.
Butterfinger Boss Todd is here tonight.
But it would take time, he'd be playing catch up and all this stuff. But I brought Rob Schraub. Let's bring him out.
All right, look
How
at
does
this.
that feel? How does that feel?
What the fuck is going on here?
I'm good. What?
What? Did you bring enough gum for the rest of the class?
What is for the listeners? We're describing Spencer's hilariously.
My dick.
So it looks like a walker had sex with a desk. What is the little black plastic thing in front? Is that like a music?
My dick's just popping out back here. Photos are good podcasting. He really can't. All right.
What is the front plastic section
It's
of the...
to hide my dick.
And the microphone is glued to the top or what?
Well, why would you think that? That's a stupid thing.
Turn it upside down.
What?
Turn the desk upside down.
No, it's not stuck. Why would you think that? That's
Lift
a
it up.
stupid thing to think.
I'm looking at.
Don't make me move to the next stool.
Oh, God.
You were saying, Dan. I'm so sorry.
This is kind of a rare show because usually, it's not the first time coming to New York. We take the show on the road. We love going places, but this is probably the first show that if we talk about the flight out here, it's the only thing we're ever gonna
That's
talk
good,
about.
though. That's a good show.
We
guys don't know
burned
what happened.
a lot of material on the way over here.
I'm going to give you
workshopped it.
some headlines. Yeah, and at first, in the interest of we took a limo to LAX from Los Feliz, and you get into one of these limos, and then there's a ice thing, and there's some glasses, and I'm like, every time I go like, well, then we should have booze. I don't know what that is. Oh, I think it's called alcoholism. But you see ice and then you see glasses and then you're like, well, then I gotta. Okay, so then I go and get a bottle of vodka and I get a bottle of Fernet Branco, which is that Hitler medicine that Jeff's always talking about. If you're a fan of the podcast,
How is it Fixture Hitler yet? Or you came down with some Hitler?
I had a 24-hour Hitler.
Oh, okay. Hitler medicine.
and and we're just drinking in the traffic on the way to LAX, and we're having a good time.
And we were fine.
We were listening to
fine.
Celine Dion. There was a CD in the limo. I think that's the last time the limo was used.
You were playing the Little Mermaid soundtrack as loud as it could go. You and Cody were screaming along a different song, different lyrics to the song.
Jeff? I do. I remember everything up until about...
Do you remember me going, maybe another song? Maybe a different one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was starting when Cody she goes like, play Chicago. Play, what's the song where he had it coming? And they're like, and I'm like, play He Had It Coming. And Jeff's like, it's called He Had It Coming? I don't know. And it's not called He Had It Coming. It's a cell block tango. But, but it's like, Cody kind of like, I can see, I've been with her for many years, and I can kind of start to see like, which usually an adorable amount of like when the Gary Busey starts to come out, like the...
Can I just stop you?
When she starts to like starts to become there's lines being drawn in the sand for no reason.
Let me just paint one picture. Also, Cody is dressed like a garage mechanic.
She has this like comfortable, very sexy for how comfortable and practical it is. Usually those things don't overlap, but at the middle of that Venn diagram,
bright pink chrome shoes, dressed like a mechanic.
She looks like a mechanic from Knight Rider. Yeah.
Arms everywhere.
And she's like, put on that song. I love that song. And then that song starts, and it starts with like pop, swish, Schwartz, Cicero, or whatever, that's right. And Cody's of all the songs to defiantly pretend you know the lyrics to. It's like pop, Cicero, Schwartz, you're just saying what you're hearing. That's not, you don't know the song. Anyways. But we're like, so we roll up to LAX, and I'm like...
Okay, see, now, if I can hit pause here, this is the last thing I remember.
And this is like the foreword of the story.
Right, because the stars of this story that emerge are going to be Jeff Davis and Cody Heller, and
Steve Levy.
But I would call it a tale of two kinds of drunk.
I don't know what happened. Like I feel like I roofied
You drank
myself.
a lot and got drunk. That's what happened.
I disappeared. I became
right. We'll get there.
I think
he disappeared.
It's actually a rare story that it's actually probably most important to just cut ahead. It's like one of those like Jeff will be awoken by
police.
LAX police on a bench. And ask him, where are you going? And his answer will be Los Angeles. And they will say, you're in Los Angeles. And where are you going? And after a while, they'll arrive at New York.
No, they got me there.
They pitched New York.
They said, where are you going? I said, and I paused and I thought about it. I said, I don't know. I thought I was coming home.
Because what happened, what we've pieced together, I can tell you the subjective things. I can tell you that I last saw Jeff and Cody. We got split up into the TSA checkpoint line. I looked over. These are my friends. I'm having a great time. I thought I was going to be the self-destructive rock star because I'm in my anti-TSA mode where I'm just like, I can't understand what you're saying. You have to take your laptop out of the bag.
The guy goes to Dan, sir, can I look in your bag? And Dan goes, what if I say no? And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's how drunk I was.
I'm like, oh, God.
He's the third drunkest person
I'm
in
like,
story.
oh, my.
I was like, I'm okay. I'm just gonna fight the government.
Let me answer that question.
I end up being the Matthew Broderick in this story. I end up being the Anthony Michael Hall of this Breakfast Club. And I'm like, what are you gonna do? Take me to Guantanamo? So I get through that line, and then Cody somehow, maybe it got activated by the backscatter machine. Like, she's a marionette of Courtney Love when she gets to the other side. And the only person holding the strings is God. And God is not a good puppeteer. He's not. But I don't want to derail us with that stuff.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to
But
your series
she,
about God.
we get up to the lounge, and where Cody's like something's happened. It's like it's delayed. Probably takes 20 minutes. Or like it must have just been we were overserved in the limo, and it must just be hitting her, and she's getting unable to be motile, and she's starting to she's just making sounds. And all you can register is that she's defiant about something. But and then I'm not a good person either. You get to do your impression of me.
Yeah, go Schraub. Schraub has the best version of this story.
Well, because
I'm looking around and I'm seeing a guy. If I see
sober.
Cody being loosey-goosey in a fluorescent lit lounge at 6 p.m., and then I see a guy across from her going like this. Maybe that guy's playing Pokemons, but maybe he's TMZ, and I'm just I don't want to feel protective.
Anyway, chaos. We get into the lounge. Chaos. I'm like, here's my ticket. Oh, you're in first class. Go ahead. All right, that's great. I start walking. I turn around enough in time to see Cody going to the woman across the counter to go, "What up, bitch?" "What up, bitch?" And I'm like, oh my God.
And just to give you an indication of how that bitch's response was in German. It was like she was just, there was absolutely no way that she...
We don't have the papers?
German maybe evokes that stuff. I'm saying, make her Swiss. But she was a tourist. She didn't speak English because her response to what up, bitch was Weltenschlangen? I don't know. What is happening? I came here for the gummy bears and the Seattle needle.
It just, I get, my brain goes blank with deuce chills. I'm just going, and I turn away, and then I turn back again in time for you to go, catch you saying to the Swiss German woman, "Look, we don't work here, and you're acting like we're supposed to know this stuff." And I'm
wait. Well,
holy shit!
Wait, you're confusing. I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying that to the tourist. I was saying that to the people at the counter that work for the airline.
Wasn't she the Swiss German woman?
No, Cody wasn't saying "what up, bitch" to a person that worked for the airline. She was saying it to some poor bystander who was also sitting in the reading area.
Okay. Well, I was far away. I didn't see that part. So I'm glad we had this discussion.
We're piecing it together.
Yes. Right.
And the great thing is, again, it gets worse.
So Cody is like,
and she lost her boarding pass at this point, right?
And her footing. She fell down a couple times.
We all love Cody, by the way. She's great.
Yeah, we love Cody.
You do a little non-linear storytelling thing here because the whole time there's also this the sideline of Steve Levy is
right. We haven't
doing
mentioned
this get him to the Greek if there's 8 Russell Brands. And the theme I keep hearing is well, can you try to? I'm gonna try to find Jeff, and I just keep thinking where's Jeff?
Where's Jeff?
And then later, Jeff, when we were driving here, Jeff's listening to the stories about Cody, and then Jeff at one point goes, "Oh, well, maybe I was there, and that's why I left." And Schraub goes, "No. You were gone in the Star Wars crawl. You were the silver C-3PO," which is true because what we pieced together is here's what Jeff did. Jeff was in the TSA checkpoint line.
We think he got through security.
We're pretty sure he got through the X-ray machine.
Through TSA.
Right, he was just in a line and then disappeared.
And then fate turned his body physically around enough that 40 years of touring and landing at LAX and 8 quarts of Fernet Branca broke his sim, and he ended up just walking
I'm at LAX.
to baggage claim from the fucking X-ray machine.
Better call an Uber.
And he called a lift.
And he did call a lift.
And he woke up on a bench 3 hours later by stun baton.
Between getting out of the limo, the next thing I remember is police tapping me on the shoulder. I was sitting downstairs outside at Arrivals, and a cop is going, "Sir, your friends are looking for you." Because Steve Levy called the fuzz.
Because here's the thing.
Spencer.
I was in New York when this was all happening. I was already in New York in a hotel room.
Because for some reason, Spencer doesn't like to travel with us.
Right.
So
I put foam on all the sharp corners.
It was two LAX cops that tapped me on the shoulder and go, "Hey, your friend, they moved your flight. Come with us."
Because Steve is now boarding the flight that is leaving without Jeff, and he's like, "Spencer, Jeff is missing.
Yeah.
Can you call someone?"
And not only did I have 9 texts from Steve, I had 4 or 5 texts from the Lyft driver that I called because I was going to go home. And she's like, "I'm here. Where are you?" "I'm upstairs. What the fuck?" And I called the car thinking I was leaving the goddamn thing. So the cops bring me back into Alaska Airlines, and they go, "Okay, we have a flight for you. You're going to be in first class still. There's 1 seat available." And the woman says, and the cop says, "Sir, where are you going?" And I said, "Los Angeles." And he goes, "You're in Los Angeles. Where are you going?" And I went, "I don't know." And then we all laughed. The cops and the lady, we all had a good laugh about it. And I said, "Look, I've been on tour a lot, and I'm very disoriented right now, and I don't know what's going on."
Disoriented.
I tour a lot every Friday night, too.
But
I lost my compass.
I'm going to tour after I get done with you.
Somehow, because Levy is awesome, and he got me a driver from JFK. I somehow managed to make it to our hotel with my bags and all of my shit.
We thought you were going to come out on the carousel when we got to New York. We were still sure. But I just realized we're committing a major podcast crime, like all the true crime shows that focus on the murderers and not enough on the victims. I want to bring out Steve Levy because...
Levy.
Because he was the only sober one, and we were only able to piece all this together by asking him questions.
Okay, but now
I'm so sorry. Can we have Steve Levy come back on? I have a different music drop for him.
Oh, damn.
I'm so sorry. This will just take a second.
Can you play it through your mic?
I can try.
All right, lay it on.
Steve Levy, everybody.
Wasn't this so much better?
Thank you, Spencer.
That's a good theme for you. A muffled, muted, distant.
That's what he deserves. He doesn't deserve a generic sound clip.
All right, so all's well that ends well. Steve Levy gets me on the plane. I get the car home. I make it. But meanwhile, there's a whole... The A story is still happening aboard the original flight.
Yeah, because most of the story happens while you're unconscious.
Yeah. And it's more fun to talk about Cody, but that's because we have answers about her. You went into the black hole.
I did. I think I roofied myself. I don't know what happened.
I got to tell you, I went to the University of Miami, and when I was there, we won Playboy Party School of the Year. And I had a lot of training, being the only sober person at that school, dealing with the most drunken people. And I really got to use those tools last night that I sharpened in college.
Some highlights that I wasn't there for, because eventually I had to leave Cody in the lounge because I was like, you people who I've not met, but hello, including Ruthie Aslan's cousin. Ruthie Aslan was a community editor. She's done a lot. She was my right hand on a lot of amazing stuff I made, and her cousin's here. Shout out to her. Or I don't know if her cousin's you know what? You can be Ruthie's cousin and be a guy. It's a new world.
Whoa.
Shout out to cousins for being inherently non-binary. Fuck your heteronormative nephews and nieces.
Better bread.
Cousins
better
are where it's at. They can be anything. All right. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, my
but
time.
I'm sorry.
No. I
don't want this show to go by without people knowing that my girlfriend on the bridge to the, what did they call the bridgey thing?
The jet bridge?
She made it. I never thought you would get her that far. That you had to. You kept
well, let's
her
go
like,
back. Let's start from. Let's start.
First warning.
let's do a little. I mean, this is a little Rashomon, right? Like, let me. I'll get
Right.
I just wanted you. She saw a baby like in a stroller and said way too loud, "Look at that fucking baby."
I was standing Cody up against the wall, and I was looking at Cody. I was like, "Codes, tell me something." And then she sees this baby. It's about 2 feet to her right. She goes, "Look at this fucking baby!" Like just an inch away from touching its hand, and the mother's just like, "Oh no."
That's what Cody does. When Cody drinks too much, she becomes Richard Dawson from the '70s, like Family Feud. She just keeps she keeps welcoming people to her drunkiverse. So like when she got on the plane, she looked over and there were 2 incredibly handsome gay dudes who were like they were as cool. The reason I know they were gay is because if 2 straight guys that handsome were hanging out together, it's just
that's
not possible.
true. When you and I hang out, it's not a big deal.
They were clean cut, like straight edge kind of looking guys, and but just actually strikingly chiseled and like handsome. But these are the thoughts you keep in your head. But not when you're America's aunt, my girlfriend after a drink, who comes on the plane.
I sit her down.
And she plops down in the seat and looks over at those guys and goes like, "Whoa, look at these good-looking fellas. Look at these handsome guys. They're very handsome. They're very handsome. Where you guys going to Alaska? Because we're on Alaska Airlines?" And they go, "No, are you going to Alaska?"
Is that how they dress in Alaska now?
Are you skipping over part of that baby encounter?
I'm skipping over a million things. This is a post-Netflix audience. They can handle it. Did you know that Jonah Hill's character was actually an octopus after...
Wasn't there a much more important thing with the baby?
No, there's a million important things. I just wanted to make sure. Some of these things, I'm like, I just want people to know how much I love my girlfriend and why. Like, I like that even that the worst case scenario with my girlfriend is dark Bill Murray. that she's like, "Look at this fucking baby," and then she kind of like was starting to unzip her Knight Rider
she
mechanic
halfway
jumper.
Unzipped her jumper, and her boobs were out a little bit, and I don't know why did you do that?
She's trying to feed the baby.
Yeah, she's like, hey kid, come over here.
So after
now
she
I'm done. You guys can take
After she
over.
plops down and says, "Take a look at these good-looking dudes," and they're going, "Oh, okay, all right, whatever." And then and I'm sitting like a row or 2 behind, and then so for the next hour, I hear, "Go to sleep, go to sleep."
That's me.
That's great. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Why? Are you gonna break up with me? Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
But she never went to sleep.
No.
She just sat there and kept, and every once in a while, look over at me like my dad after 8 Southern Comforts when I was 10. Like I would just feel this glare, and I would go to sleep. I did nothing for 5 hours. I pretended to look at my phone while I was like, "You're drunk too. You don't get mad. Just go to sleep and wake up normal." But she never did. She just slowly got more charismatic. Like it did. She best friends with the flight attendants and everybody. She's like, "What? I'm fun. I'm fun. I know you're fun. I hate you."
Dan's in the lounge going, "I don't know what to do. I'm weighing my options. You're a piece of celery right now. You're a piece of celery. I want to dump you in a dumpster." "You're going to dump me? Why?" Just like, I'm like, oh my God, I want to die.
Whereas I, like a gentleman, was just having a nice little nap outside on a bench.
Levy, do something to mitigate that glimpse he just gave these people of me talking to my girlfriend when she's incapacitated.
Yeah. So, here's my side of this.
Just even it up.
So we get through security. Jeff is nowhere to be found. I'm like, well, look, Jeff, one thing about Jeff is every time we travel, he always splits up from the group and goes to a bar.
First thing that happens when we get through security
is he just ditches us and goes and reads a book somewhere.
He wants to go
offense,
read
Jeff.
Moby Dick in the coolest bar in your city, so you can come out here and say, "Oh, I love the penny pincher," and you guys go, "Oh, that's extra cool. I can't believe you read a Cormac McCarthy book in the fucking phone booth cafe."
So our little touring family was like, "Look, this is what Jeff does. This is what Jeff does." I was going, "No, he did not make it through security."
We're like, Jeff's the grown-up.
And I knew I had to get them to the lounge, so I get them to the lounge. We had the altercation at the front desk where we couldn't get in because
She lost her boarding pass, right?
Cody lost her boarding pass. Dan didn't know which card he had to give to get us into the lounge. Schraub was already checked in. Cody was going, "This bitch, she's got it, this fucking bitch. And the lady's just like, she's not gonna make it on this. They will not let her on the flight if she's like this. And then I'm like, God, fuck. Okay, well, this changes my night entirely. Then we realize how bad the situation is. Dan sits Cody down. She's stumbling. She could barely stand up at this point.
She's stumbling while sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in danger of missing the chair she had been sitting in for 10 minutes. She was still
really
in the
good
process
space work
of
by
sitting
Rob.
in it.
Schraub's texting me, "What's the Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi?" I gotta send an email. What's the Wi-Fi?
man is
Pretty
dead.
quiet. I've been pretty quiet and like, oh, look at these lunatics. And I'm like, hey, I can't figure out. There's signs, literally a billboard right ahead of me. The Wi-Fi password is, what's the Wi-Fi password?
I say to the group, I gotta find Jeff. They're like, "You're being ridiculous. Jeff is fine." No, I gotta find Jeff. So I go down and I look at every airport bar. No Jeff to be found. I call Spencer. I'm like, "I know you just got to the hotel. I can't find Spencer. I can't find Jeff. I might have to call you in a little bit to help me with this one. I'll let you know how things go." Cody's really blasted too. We may not make it on this flight. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. And then I get back up to the lounge. Cody's gotten worse. She's wearing her black glasses, and she's like,
I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, now she
Yeah.
looks like a Kennedy widow. Like,
she's like, yeah.
I thought that was cool, and I maybe this is it's probably a terrible codependent relationship, but I was kind of turned on some of the time.
I called Jeff about 10 times, couldn't get in touch with him. I called church, she hadn't heard from him, and then the flight starts boarding, and I'm like, "Rob, you guys have to get on this flight." I turn to Dan, I'm like, "Flight's boarding, we have to make a decision," and Dan's like to Cody, I love you. I think the best thing for me to do is cancel this show, take you home, take care of you, because you're not going to...
Give him the mic.
You're cutting in and out.
Yeah, give him the other mic.
All right.
Now you take the other mic on the
Oh,
stool.
yeah, okay. You got it.
You know, a lot of people could do that without any words.
So he looks at me. What am I doing? I can't deal with it. Like, they're not going to let her on this flight. Look at her. She can't stand up. I said, I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't even, just get on the flight. I'll figure it out. Dan goes, "I don't know how you're going to figure this out, but okay, I don't want to cancel this show. There's going to be hundreds of people. It sucks. I don't want to go to New York without Cody." He turns to Cody, he tells her that he loves her about 12 times. He kisses her and he goes, "I'm so sorry. Levy's going to figure this one out somehow." And he goes, and I look at Cody, I'm like, "Codes, it's you and me, bros tonight. We're going to figure this out somehow. Where's your boarding pass?" She's like, "I don't know." I had printed her a second boarding pass at this point. She lost this one. I was like, "Okay, Cody, we're going to get on this flight. It's boarding. Don't even trip. I got to find Jeff." She's like, "Yeah, what? Jeff, where's that guy? Like, are we going to make this flight? What's Jeff doing?" Like, And so I go and I talk to the lady at the front. I'm like, "I need 3 seats on the next flight." She's like, "There's only 1 first-class seat for the next 3 flights to New York." I was like, "I don't think I'm going to make it on this flight without losing one of my team." So I called.
I just want to pause here and point out that a podcast flying across a first world country to do a 90-minute show shouldn't have a casualty ratio as high as a police action in the 70s in a third world country. I think they're like Spencer's like, did you guys get on the plane? I'm like, yeah, there's some casualties. Like I think like 7 of us came, 5 of us are gonna be at JFK.
Yeah. So I was like, I had to make a decision. It's like, do I try to find Jeff or do I just try to get Cody on this flight? The woman at the front was like, you got to do your best at getting her on the flight. Just don't have her say a word. Try to make her walk as best as she can. And you can do it. You can get her on this flight. And I was
Everyone's rooting for you guys.
I'm going to get her on the flight. So I go to Cody. I was like, Codes, we got to go board this flight. We're going to be late. She's like, all right, let's do it. I'm really tired. I got to pee. I was like, we got to just wait. We got to wait till we get on the flight. She's like, can I wear my glasses? You better wear those glasses. You look so fucking cool. So I stand Cody up. She staggers a little bit. I'm like, here, hold my arm. And so I lead her to the elevator. We get in. She's very talky. She's like, what's happening? Are we gonna make this flight? Where's Jeff? Do these glasses make me look as cool as I think they do? And we're walking to the gate, and we walk up to the guy, and I'm like, can we scan in? And he was like, yeah. I'm holding Cody's boarding pass so that she doesn't have to do anything. She's holding my arm very quietly. She knows exactly what she's doing too, like a child. She's like playing this game. I get scanned in, and as soon as we hit the like bridge to the plane, she goes, killed it. They didn't know. They didn't know. And
they didn't know.
But then the first thing she does is she turns around and bumps the guy in front of us because there's still a line to board the flight. And I was like, Cody, please don't do that. I still can't get a hold of Jeff. She bumps the guy again. He's like, what's wrong? Like, and then I leaned her up against that wall. She sees the baby. She does the thing like, oh, look at this fucking baby. And then she unzips her thing. And then
there was no buffer. She didn't go, look at this fucking baby. Hey, baby, admit it. You wish I was your mom. Like,
it was like about a 3-second between baby and me going, no, whoa, and this action. But then I walked her on the flight, and Dan was like, no, I don't. I sit her down, and he's like, what the hell is happening? Where's Jeff? I sit in my seat. I'm calling everybody. I call Spencer. I'm like, our flight's about to take off. Please, can you call like TSA and see if they have Jeff in a room somewhere.
Right.
While he's doing that, I'm calling the LAX police going, have you guys seen my friend Jeff Davis? They haven't. I go to the front of the plane. I tell the woman, one of my party isn't here. And she's like, well, who is it? They look it up, and they're like, he didn't check in. And I was like, that's not possible. I checked him in on the computer when I printed his boarding pass. She's like, well, they already they already gave his seat away. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. The LAX police didn't have him, and we took off.
And you just said, Hail Mary.
No. Jeff called me just as the plane was moving. He's like, Levy, where are you? Where are you?
Play the message. Can you play the message on your phone?
Yeah. Oh no!
It's not embarrassing.
Jeff doesn't like this.
So
what's crazy is that
think of everything that we just told you, and then this is Jeff's explanation.
I was like, Jeff, we're about to take off. He's like, I can't hear you. It's really loud out here. And it's just honking horns and cars driving by.
So the last time you see someone is outside a Sbarro in a Logan's Run complex that is illegal to like cross certain thresholds where everything is so official, but you don't expect horns to be honking the next time you hear from them.
Dan's texting me like, where is Jeff? And I'm like, he's on the street somewhere. There's a lot of honking in the background.
I was impressed. I was like, he's the new Amelia Earhart. I'm like, how did he get from a plane to a street?
And
that's illegal.
So he calls me. He keeps calling me. He can't hear me. I was like, text me. And then he calls me one last time. And he goes, I can't hear you, but I'm going to get on the next flight. And then he called me again, and he left me this message while I was mid-flight, and we got it when I landed. So let's see. Hold on.
Oh, Billy.
Hey, Steve, it's Jeff. I fucking flaked out, and I'm on flight 1420 from LAX to New York, JFK.
Oh, someone called Steve. It fucked it up. Sorry, everybody.
But I mean, the point is like Jeff goes, "Hey, sorry, I flaked out."
11:30 p.m. So let me know if I can get a car, or otherwise I'll get my own car. Sorry about that. Talk to you soon.
So,
So he was fine, and we were right.
So the question is, what's scarier? The Cody version where it's like, holy shit, you had too much to drink, you're King Kong. The government has to be like, but meanwhile, like a very frightening level of like, he's like Denzel Washington in, it's just like, hey, is that after he got woke up by cops?
Yes,
And
that's
so he's just
after.
like, yeah, so a little bit of a fucking spot of bother. Yeah. Nothing I can't handle, baby. It's in the way that you use.
I fell asleep.
I woke up on a fucking bench.
I was sleepy time Davis.
the one thing he kept saying was, I spaced out, and all of us are going, what the fuck does
Spaced
that
out?
mean?
That's the best euphemism.
You know when you space out? We've all been there when you spaced out and then wake up on the street corner, the cops poking you saying, "What city are you in?" It made me like rewind to since we've met. Like how many times you've said you've spaced out to me? You space out sometimes. We all space out
I fell asleep, Rob.
while walking somewhere.
I was sleeping. No. I went through security and I thought, you know what? This seems like a bad flight to be on. I don't like the vibe, and I thought I'm going to go out and sleep this one off.
Yeah.
There's going to be another flight in an hour. It's all going to be good.
If you get sleepy while you're walking, you might be a space neck. All right.
a space.
Yeah, fuck me for anticipating a laugh volume. I should know better than that. Thank you for that valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we explained how we got here, let's start the show.
Okay.
From beautiful downtown New York, it's Harmontown.